This conference will now be recorded.
Now, groups always define the behavior of the ledgers. Now, here what happens is, if I prepare a Shams capital account, I will create it under the group of capital. In case if I'm preparing State Bank of India, HDFC Bank, Canara Bank, or any other bank account, I will create it under the group of bank accounts. Again, as I told, furniture, land and building, or plant and machinery under the fixed assets, shares, mutual funds, any kind of marketable securities under the investments. Then if I talk about rent, salaries, and all these expenses, I will create it under the group of indirect expenses. So like these, every ledger will be created under the respective groups, which will define the behavior, okay, of the ledgers. Now here in Tally, how can we create the same? So let's start the creation of ledgers in Tally Prime. Please double click on the Tally Prime software. I hope all of you are in the gateway of Tally screen, the Tally main screen, before we start creating the ledgers. If you're it, please double click on the software. It'll take a couple of seconds to open the software. Yes. I hope all of you are on the gateway of Tally screen. Now over here, under Masters, we are going to select the option of Create. Select the Create option under Masters. Now, if you observe, under Accounting Masters, we have Ledger. Okay. So select Ledger. Yes. So this is how the ledger creation window appears. So we have name, under which group, we have the mailing, banking details, tax registration details, opening balance, etc. Yes, so all of you are able to view this. So first of all, we will not begin with the creation of ledgers. Before that, we will view the default ledgers which are created in the Tally software, right? So let's check out the default ledgers created in the Tally software. So we will press Escape key and come back to the gateway of Tally screen. Okay, and here beneath the create option, we have the alter option. Okay, so here again you're going to select the option of ledgers. Yes, I hope all of you have got this. In the list of ledgers, we have two already created in the Tally software, that is cash account and profit and loss account. Yes, so these are the two default ledgers which are created in the Tally Prime. I hope all of you are able to get this default ledgers. So here, when we define this cash basically means cash in hand. It is not cash at bank. Cash at bank is the bank account which we normally prepare for the purpose of passing the entries, and here in the ledger creations. But here, if we talk about cash is nothing but cash in hand, okay, and not cash at bank. So here, what cash is depicted, it is cash in hand, but not at bank. Okay, so press Escape key and come back to the gateway of Tally screen. Now here, we have to start creating the ledgers. So we'll go to the create option, press enter, select the option of ledgers under accounting masters. Yes. So now we will create the first ledger. Now here we have Shams capital account. The first ledger we have to create under the group of capital account. So all the partners' capital account will be created under the group of capital account, capital group. Okay. So let's start with the first ledger. Shyam's capital account under the group of capital account. So you need not give the mailing details, banking details, tax registration details, all that as of now. Later on, if we require, we can add those fields. As of now, you can just directly come to the opening balance, which you can see at the bottom. Yes. Now, opening balance, you need to add some amount here. Okay, so that the balance is depicted in Shyam's capital account. Preferably add a sufficient balance. Now here I'm adding 4 lakhs. Once you type the amount, press enter. So here you're getting a CR, credit. So what does this credit basically means? Now I have not typed CR here. It is automatically taken. So what does this signify here? Now capital, if we talk about capital balances, now where do they find a place in our financial statements? In the trading account, in the profit and loss account, in the balance sheet, in the cash flow statement. Where do they find a place? The capital account balances. They will find a place on the liability side of the balance sheet. Yes, so capital is in the nature of liability. If we talk about the liabilities, all assets have debit balances, all liabilities have credit balances. Yes. So whenever we are creating a ledger in the name of furniture, plant and machinery, when we are doing it manually, right? So how do we start the ledgers? We always start it to balance brought down. Yes. So all assets have debit balances. Suppose if we have to create a ledger in the name of any sundry creditor, right? So how do we start the ledger? We start the ledger as by balance brought down. Yes. So this is how it comes up. So all liabilities have credit balances, all assets have debit balances. So I need not convey the same here. It is automatically taken, being that Shyam's capital is in the nature of liability. So press enter. You get the accept yes or no. Press enter again. And this is how you create your first ledger in Tally. So the second one we go, we have here SBI bank account under the group of bank account. So let's create the State Bank of India ledger. Now here if we define the group of banks, now we have 3 here. We have bank account, we have bank cash credits OCC, we have OD, overdraft account. Now as of now, we're choosing the first one, that is bank account only. Okay, we're selecting the first option, bank account, and press enter. Yes, moment we select the respective group, we have to give the bank account details. Okay, so here we have the account holder's name, account number, IFSC code, SWIFT code, bank name, branch, and all that. So account number details you have to fill up here. As of now, you can just skip these fields. Anyways, all these details are available in your bank passbook or any bank statements. Or if you wish, you can give account number, IFSC code, as I'm giving up here. Yes. So what is a SWIFT code actually? See, IFSC code is meant for domestic money transfers. Yes, so within the country, if I have to transfer money from one end to another end, I have to use the IFSC code. But in case of international money transfers, I have to use the SWIFT code. Yes, so IFSC code is used for domestic money transfers and SWIFT code is used for international money transfers. So you can, as of now, you can just skip this field, or if it's available, you can give up the SWIFT code also. Now, if you observe here, the bank name, it will be not applicable by default and you can't even change it. Now, in the previous session, I had discussed the difference between trial version and the licensed version. Yes. Now, one of the drawbacks of the trial version, I had told that we cannot give the date of the transaction, except 1st, 2nd, and 31st. We cannot give any other date. Yes, in the trial version. So one more limitation, we also see that whenever we are creating any bank account ledger, you have the bank name appearing here, right? So here it is coming as not applicable. In case if you are a licensed user, we are having a licensed version, you can see the list of banks. So in that list of banks, you have State Bank of India's all subsidiaries. Whatever is appearing under State Bank of India, all would be present. Or if you're creating any ledger as HDFC Bank also, you can choose HDFC Bank in the list of banks. But in case if I'm using a trial or the educational version, list of banks will not be seen. The list will not be available. So henceforth, bank name will be not applicable here. If you want, you can give the branch. So here I'm giving as Jayanagar branch. Yes. So these bank configuration details, you need not activate as of now. You just press enter. Yes, address, PIN code. If you wish to give, you can give it up for every ledger, or you can just skip these fields. Anyways, you're aware of it. That's how to give the address, PIN code, all these details. So just press enter, and please arrive at the opening balance. Okay. Now in the opening balance, please enter sufficient amount in the bank ledger. So here I am creating SBI bank account with an opening balance of 3 lakhs. So once you type the amount, you can press enter. Yes. So here we can see what we can see as DR. Why? Because all banks are what in the nature of assets. Yes. So all assets have debit balances. All liabilities have credit balances. So ultimately it will appear as DR, debit. So press enter. Accept yes or no. Yes. The next ledger we have is furniture under fixed assets. So let's create furniture account under fixed assets. Now fixed, we need not type it up. FI, the first few letters, if you type, the group will be automatically highlighted. So just press enter. Yes. Now, as of now, you can deactivate the GST applicability details. Even though you press enter and close the ledger, still that's also fine. No issues will be there. Otherwise, you can just press yes, yes.
Ma'am, how do I go to the total opening balance? My cursor is not shifting over.
For which you have not given the opening balance.
Ma'am, this capital account, Shyam's capital account.
Okay, so for Shyam's capital account, you couldn't give the opening balance, so you have to go back to the same and you have to give the opening balance. Yes.
The total opening balance. How do I go there at first?
Okay. Yes, I would like to show you. Now, here in the ledger creation window only, you can press Alt G. Okay. The ones who have not able to get the opening balance for the previous ledgers, here is the answer for the same. You press Alt G, you get the go to option here, and there you can see in the list you have Alter Master. Okay.
Yeah.
Select Auditor Master there and select Ledger under the Accounting Masters.
Okay.
Now you're able to see Shyam's capital account.
No, ma'am, I
So
haven't.
press. I think you have not created. Probably you would have pressed Escape key or something.
No, ma'am,
If you have created,
I'm still there on the screen. I haven't created it yet because I wasn't able to.
have you created the ledger already? If you have created, you can go to the Auditor Master, or you're still in the ledger of Shyam's capital account. You can press. So you can press enter. Just slowly press enter and come to the opening balance. So here you can come to the opening balance and add the balance over here. Okay.
Ma'am, the total opening balance, not the opening balance, that column.
So please, the total opening balance is no way concerned over here. That I would explain you in the end, which is appearing at the top right hand side. Please don't look into that. I'm talking about the opening balance, which is appearing beneath. Right. So here you can add sufficient balance and then you can press enter. You will get accept yes or no. And there you can create the ledger. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Yeah, thank you, ma'am.
Yes. So we were creating the ledger for furniture. So if we come to the statutory details, right? So here, as of now, we can give it as not applicable. Mailing details, tax registration details and all need not give for a furniture ledger. So just press enter. Opening balance also is not required for the furniture. So you can just press enter, accept yes or no, yes. Okay. In case you have given by any chance, still not an issue. Nothing to worry. Nothing to worry if you have given opening balance for furniture. Fine. So accept yes or no, yes. Now the next one we go is shares in Infosys under the investment account. Okay. So let's create shares in Infosys under investment account. Under investments. So as I told, mutual funds, if you talk about shares or any of the marketable securities, all will be created under the group of investment. So here the same procedure we'll follow. We need not give the opening balance. We can just create the ledger under the respective group, that is shares and Infosys, under the investment group, and just need to press enter and accept the ledger. That's it, nothing else to do. Accept yes or no. Next, we have the ledger of rent paid. So rent paid comes under the group of indirect expenses. Now, if I talk about the wages, wages can be defined as what? What kind of group will I create a wage ledger to? Wages can be defined as
direct expenses.
very good. It's a direct expenses. If I talk about salary, the same salary will become indirect expenses. Yes. So if we are thorough with the ledgers, the nature, it is very easy to create the ledgers also entirely. Now here, rent paid, if we create the ledger under indirect, so we need not type the entire word as I told. You can just type IND, you get the indirect expenses and indirect incomes group highlighted. So you can just select here indirect expenses. Here you have to be a little careful. Type of ledger, please select as not applicable. We'll not go for any discount or invoice rounding as of now. So you can just select as not applicable. Same procedure, you can just press enter, or you can just reactivate GST by pressing the space bar and choosing not applicable. So just press enter. No opening balance to be given. You're going to give opening balance as of now only for two kinds of ledgers. One we have is bank, if you're creating any HDFC, State Bank of India, or any bank ledgers, and one more is for the capital ledgers. Other than these two, you're not giving opening balance for any other ledger as of now, right? So just press enter, accept yes or no, enter. Yes, we have created the rent paid ledger. The last one we have is BC Traders. Now, BC Traders, it has been assumed that BC Traders is a supplier for the company. So, the moment we reckon them as suppliers, in the business terms, we call them or define them as sundry creditors. Yes, supplier is equivalent to sundry creditors. So, we'll create the ledger in the name of BC Traders under the group of sundry creditors. So let's create it. BC Traders. So just type first few alphabets, SUN, Sun. Yes, so here we have the sundry debtors and the sundry creditors group. So we'll select sundry creditors. Yes, the maintain balances bill by bill is yes. So let it remain the same. No changes to be made. So just press enter and accept yes or no. Yes. So like this, we have created 5 ledgers in Tally, right? So we have created Sham's capital account, State Bank of India banks account, furniture account, shares in Infosys, rent paid 6 rather, BC Traders. All of you were able to successfully create these ledgers. Any of you has having any difficulty or any confusions? I hope it's clear, the ledger creations in Tally. Right, so once we have created the ledgers, we will move on to the next step, that is how to alter and how to delete the ledgers in the Tally Prime software. Okay, yes, this is how we have to delete and alter the ledgers. Now if we talk about the alteration of ledgers, if you would remember, how did we go to the company alteration? Rather, how did we alter the company's details when we had created the company? We had selected the alter option, rest, and then in the company alteration screen, we had made the necessary updations. In the same way, if we have to update or change any detail, or rather add or delete or whatever changes has to be made, it has to be done only in the alteration screen. It can be for a company, it can be for a ledger, it can be for a voucher, anything it can be. Yes. So if we have to make any alterations, it has to be in the alteration screen only. So here, how are we going to alter the ledgers? Let's start altering the ledgers. Now all of you are in the ledger creation window. So press escape key until you arrive at the gateway of Tally screen. Yes. So all of us are in the gateway of Tally screen. Now beneath the create option, we have the option of alter. Yes. So select alter option. Now select ledger. Yes, so here you have the list of ledgers which are being created by you. That is BC traders, except cash and profit and loss account, the rest of all the user has created. That is, all of us have created BC traders, furniture, rent paid, State Bank of India Bank, shares in Infosys, and Shams Capital account. Yeah. So here you can view the ledgers. Now, let's assume we have to make some alteration for any of the ledger. So choose any ledger. Now I will choose here State Bank of India's bank's ledger. So select any ledger by pressing enter on the same. If you observe at the top left hand corner, you have the ledger alteration window. Yes, so that is seen over there. It is not the ledger creation, but it is a ledger alteration window. Now here you can change the name of the ledger, the group, whatever changes, alterations should be made, can be made in the ledger alteration window. Now here I'm just changing or altering the opening balance. The rest of all would remain the same. So what alterations you need to make? You have to add the opening balance, or you can change the name of the ledger. You can do that. Now here I'm altering the opening balance from 3 lakh to 4,50,000. So once I add the new opening balance, I just press enter. Yes, so don't forget to accept the alterations. So when this dialog box you see accept yes or no, you have to press enter to accept the alterations. So this is how the alterations are done. So you can select any ledger and make the necessary alterations. This is how we go for the alteration of the ledgers. Once you're done with the alteration, we'll go for the deletion of ledgers. Now, again, if we go back for the company's deletion, how the company's deletion was made. In the company alteration screen, we had clicked Alt plus D. Yes, Alt plus D, D for delete. In the same way, if we have to delete any ledgers, we have to go for Alt plus D option. So given the path here, we have to select the alter option, then the ledger which we have to delete it. That will be the ledger alteration window, and from there we have to select Alt plus D. Now here, now I will select here. Now here I'm in the alteration window. So I'll select alter, ledger. So now here I'm going to delete the ledger of shares in Infosys. So I'll press enter on the same. Yes, so here if you observe at the top, you have the ledger alteration window. Yes. Now here you have to press Alt D. This is how you're getting it. Delete yes or no. So if I press enter, the ledger gets deleted. Yes. So here no more I can see shares in Infosys. The ledger gets deleted. I hope all of you are able to alter and delete the ledgers. Yes. So next, after the alteration and deletion of ledgers, we would go to the next step for the vouchers. Yes. We will begin with the. Yes.
Can we again add shares in Infosys account, ma'am, in ledger?
You have to create the ledger again.
From the starting?
If you already, yes. So what you can do is, if you've already deleted the ledgers, you have to recreate it again. So if you're now, if you're in the master alteration screen, from here only, whichever screen you're currently in Tally, from there you can press Alt G. Go to option, Alt G. And here you have the option of create master.
Yes,
so select create master, then select ledger. Yes, so you're in which screen now? You're in the ledger creation screen. You're able to get the screen?
Yes,
you can type as share Infosys. Yes, so you can have under investments. So the same way. So you're back. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Any other doubt regarding the creation of ledgers, alteration or deletion of ledgers? Or shall we move on to the contra vouchers? I hope it's clear to all of you. Okay. So I assume it's clear to all of you. So now, once we are done with the creation, alteration, and deletion of ledgers, the very next step we take is to pass the journal entries. Okay. Now, before I begin with the vouchers, as I told, we'll begin with the contra vouchers. Now, if I talk about the contra vouchers, what does contra entry mean? Now, contra entries we pass commonly, right? So, moment we say contra, what does contra signify? What kind of entries can be defined as contra? What kind of entries can be defined as contra? It can be cash to bank, bank to cash, or bank to bank. So which is confined only with these three entries: from cash to bank and bank to bank to cash. That's deposit of cash into the bank, withdrawal of cash from the bank, or there's an interbank transfer where we are transferring funds from one bank to the other bank, where one bank account gets debited and the bank account gets credited. So such kind of entries we use contra voucher. So contra voucher is a restrictive voucher. It's a peculiar voucher, I can say, which prohibits or restricts any other entry, which means only for contra based entries you can use a contra voucher, not for any other entry. Now here, if you observe, contra voucher, it is used for transfer of funds between cash to bank, bank to cash, bank to bank. So what kind of transactions do we use contra vouchers? We have deposits of cash into the bank, withdrawal of cash from the bank, and as I said, transfer of cash or transfer of funds from one bank to another bank. Now, what's the function key for a contra voucher? It is F4. Okay, so F4 is a function key for a contra voucher. Now, for a few of you, if you just directly press F4, you can view the contra vouchers. For a few of them, F4, if we directly use, it won't be accessible. So for them, in your keyboard, right, you have the Fn key there. Fn, that's the function key. So Fn and F4 at the top, both of them you have to click together. So then you can view the contra vouchers. Okay. Now, how can we go for the contra vouchers? From the gateway of Tally, under transactions, we have vouchers, right? So let's view the contra voucher screen. So I hope all of you are on the gateway of Tally screen. So as I told, if we have to arrive at the gateway of Tally screen from any of the existing screen you are there, the only key which has to be used is escape key. Okay. So don't press the escape key too fast. Please make it as slow as possible, because too many escapes can make you quit from the Tally program itself. Okay. So make sure you don't do that. Right. Now, all of us are on the gateway of Tally screen. Yes. Now here, under transactions, you can view the vouchers there, right? So select vouchers, press enter. Now, if you observe, it is showing some voucher. For me, it's showing as payment voucher. For any one of you, it is showing as receipt voucher or payment voucher only. Now, I want to view the contra voucher. So what is the function key used for a contra voucher? It is F4. So press F4, you would get the contra voucher screen. Now, for all of you, is the screen appearing as credit aspect and debit aspect, or it is appearing as account and then you have particulars?
Account and then particulars.
So for most of you, it's appearing like that, right? Now, what we would do is, we will press Control H. We have the change mode option. If you observe on the right hand side, in the vertical button bar, we have the change mode option. That's Control H. Yes, we have two lines beneath H. Yes, so press Control H. Right. So here you have two methods of entry, right? We have the double entry and we have the single entry, which I had discussed earlier, right? Double entry system of bookkeeping. So select double entry by pressing enter. Now all of you are able to get the credit aspect in the contra voucher creation screen.
Can you repeat, ma'am?
Press Control H. You get the change voucher mode. And there you have to press enter on double entry. Once you press enter, you can view the double entry mode. So all of you are able to get this? The credit aspect is appearing first.
Ma'am, I have two and buy. It's showing, ma'am.
Okay, so
Yes,
you have
ma'am.
2 and 5 showing.
Even for
Yes.
me, ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah.
Same.
So what we'll do is, for most of you, the credit and debit aspect is not appearing, rather to and by is appearing. Now, all of you have to press F12. That's nothing but configuration. Now, if you observe, at the right hand side in the vertical button bar, the last key you have, F12 configure. So press F12 configuration. Okay, the first option only is there. Use credit or debit instead of to and by during voucher entry. So in your screen, it will be showing as no. You have to activate it as yes. Make it as yes. Once you make it as yes, enter, save the changes, come back to the contra voucher creation screen. Now all of you are able to get the credit aspect first and not to and by.
Yes, ma'am.
Done. Right. So before we start up with the contra vouchers, passing the entries under contra vouchers, we have to do one small homework before we begin with the contra vouchers. Now, all of you know that, right? Every company, every business entity will keep some sufficient balance in its company, right? Which we call it as an emergency cash, physical cash, hard cash, or whatever it is, right? Now, this cash is kept by every company for its emergency payments, right? So we have to update this cash balance even in Tally software also. Now Tally software is not aware what is the emergency cash or the amount which is kept by the company, right? So first we have to update, we have to alter the current cash balance, what is maintained by the company. Okay, so how we have to do here, We need not press the escape key and go back to the gateway of tally screen. Rather, we have to press Alt G option, that is go to option. Please press Alt G, all of you. Right. Now here we will select Alter Master option. Alter Master, all of you are able to view that. So press Enter. Right. Now you get under Accounting Masters, you have Ledger, right? So select Ledger. Now, all of you are able to view the cash over there. As I told you earlier, it is cash in hand. So cash in hand is nothing but the emergency cash or the hard cash, whatever is kept in the company, okay, in the entity. So please press enter on cash. Right, so yes, so here we can view the group also under cash in hand. Yes, so we need not do any change, but we have to arrive at the opening balance. Okay, so just press enter and come to the opening balance. Now here you have to add the opening balance in the cash flow. So I am adding opening balance, let's say of around 3,50,000. Yes. So opening balance is of your choice, but please don't add a very low balance as of now. Do initial, please add a sufficient amount. Okay. So after you add the opening balance, if you have any doubts to raise, any questions to ask, you have to unmute yourself. If you have nothing, please do mute. I'm having some disturbance here. Please do mute. I think it is Tanushri Roy. Tanushri Roy, can you mute yourself? So if you have any, yes.
Ma'am, could you please share the recordings once after the class is done?
The recordings are shared once the class is done. It is put up in the group, so you can just go through that.
Yes, yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
It's being done regularly, so you can just go through it. Okay. Okay,
ma'am.
Okay, so all of you are able to put up the opening balance there. So once you put the opening balance, press enter, enter, accept yes, yes. So we are done. Now we have added sufficient cash balance, right? So press the escape key until you come back to the contra voucher creation screen. Right. Now let's begin passing the entries under contra vouchers. Now what do you observe here? Credit aspect appears first, debit aspect appears next. Normally, how do we pass the journal entry? First, the debit aspect appears and then the credit aspect. Yes. So this is the normal practice we follow. But contra voucher has a syntax where the credit aspect appears first and the debit aspect next. So there's nothing to get confused here. No chaos, nothing, no disturbance. It is only the position change here, but the effect of transaction remains the same. Yes. So I'll give you a small example before we begin with the vouchers under contra. Right, so here, let's say we are passing the entry for deposit. Now deposit of 1,000 of cash into, let's say, Canara Bank. Okay, now this is the entry, deposit of ₹1,000 of cash into Canara Bank. Now this entry, how do we pass? What is the journal entry we give for this transaction? Now the debit aspect will be, now Canara Bank is receiving the funds, right? Now the 1,000 rupees of cash is going out of the company into the bank, right? So now Canara Bank is a personal account. It is an artificial person. Yes. Now what is the rule of a personal account? Debit the receiver, credit the giver. Now when I am taking 1,000 rupees of cash and I'm depositing into the Canara Bank is receiving funds. Now debit the receiver. So we will debit Canara Bank account and credit cash. Yes. Now cash is moving out of the company. So henceforth, credit what goes out. Now cash belongs to real account. Yes, cash is an asset. So what's the rule of real account? Debit what comes in, credit what goes out. So cash is moving out of the company. So cash account has to get credited. And this is how we pass the entry, journal entry 2, in a usual way, in a normal way. Now the same entry, how can we pass the contra vouchers? In contra, how the same entry is reflected. Now since the credit aspect appears first, now what is the credit aspect here? It is cash account. And what is the debit aspect? It is Canara Bank. Yes, so this is how it is depicted, presented in contra voucher. That's all. See, if you observe here, positions change, but the effect of the entry remains the same. That's it. So there's nothing to get confused. The credit aspect is appearing first and then the debit, not at all. So only the positions change, but the effect remains the same. Right? So I hope it's clear from this example. How do we pass the entries in the contra vouchers? Yes. So let's begin the entries under contra vouchers. Now here if you observe the syntax, credit is also cash or bank, debit also cash or bank. As I told, it will permit only the cash and the bank based transactions. Other than that, no other entry is passed in the contra voucher. Yes. So we have a list of entries to be passed in contra voucher. The first one, if we observe, is deposit of cash of 5,000 into ICICI Bank. Company is depositing cash of 5,000 into ICICI Bank. Now, how do we assume this situation? Now, just now we had altered the cash ledger and we had added the opening balance. Yes, all of us had done that, which we call it as a hard cash or the emergency cash. Now let's assume you are the accountant for the company, or you're taking care of the accounts. Now you take 5,000 rupees from the locker and you are depositing into the bank, or it can be in any other mode. It need not be in the pay and slip mode, the manual way, or in any digital payment mode. But however, the cash is moving out of the company into the bank. So we'll take it in that way itself, where you're taking 5,000 rupees and you're depositing into the ICICI Bank. Now, here, as I told, cash is going out of the company, yes, and it is going into the ICICI Bank. ICICI Bank becomes the receiver of funds and cash is moving out. So the same entry, how it is presented in the contra voucher, the credit is cash. As I've shown you in the one of the examples, yes, the same one. The credit aspect is the cash account. Here, instead of Canada Bank account, you have the ICICI Bank. So please select cash here. Now, if you select the ledger of cash, current balance is also seen there, right? So whatever balance you have updated. Now, please type 5,000 rupees. Once you type the amount of 5,000 rupees, press enter. The debit aspect appears. Please don't type over there. Press one more enter. Yes, until you get the list of ledgers, please press enter. Now here, I'm not having ICICI Bank in the list of ledgers. Now what has to be done? I have to press either Alt G, the go to option, then I have to create master, or I have to press the escape key, go to the gateway of tally, select the create option. Now, I'm not going to adopt any of these steps. If you observe in the list of ledger accounts, at the top you can see create option is there, right? So select the create option and press enter. Now here, please create a ledger in the name of ICICI Bank. So Tally also provides the benefit of creating spot ledgers, right? So during the voucher creation screen only, we can create the ledgers on spot, right? But before creating the spot ledger on ICICI Bank, of course, spot ledgers, if you observe at the bottom, there is no opening balance for spot ledgers. So if in case you have to give any opening balance, spot ledgers do not have the feature. So as of now, we need not give any opening balance. Yes. Why? Because when we are depositing funds into the bank, right, from bank's perspective, if you observe, if you consider ICICI Bank is having a zero balance, 0 plus 5,000, right? So it's an added amount, an added benefit. So we need not have any opening balance. Opening balance can be 0. So let's create a ledger in the name of ICICI Bank. Under the group of bank account, only bank account you have to select, not the overdraft or the cash credit. So bank account, right? So I would leave this to you to give the account number, IFSC code, the SWIFT code, or you can just press enter and accept the ledger. So you have the debit aspect as ICICI Bank. So now if you observe, ICICI Bank was created with a zero balance, right? So moment I transfer 5,000 into ICICI Bank, now what happens? You can observe that deduction there from your current cash balance, there is a deduction of 5,000, and in your ICICI Bank balance, there is an addition of 5,000 rupees. You can easily observe in the current balance, right? So once you have 5,000 in the amount column, press enter. Or if you're able to get the bank allocation screen, bank allocations for ICICI Bank, where you have the transaction type.
Yes, ma'am.
Now here, we are depositing cash of 5,000 rupees. So just press enter. Yes, so this denomination screen normally where you observe. In the deposit slip, right, in the paying slips, when we are depositing cash or check into the bank, yes, there we give the denominations as this. When we this we get when we go for a cash deposit. In case of check deposit, we have to give the check number, bank and branch details and the amount. So this we see for a cash deposit. Now if I take the amount of 5,000 rupees, now 2,000, how many denominations should I give? It is 2. Now is 1,000 denomination note is there in India? No. So please don't give as 1. Press enter. 500s are there. So 500 into 2. Now press enter. Yes. So the total amount is 5,000 rupees. Press enter again. Now bank name need not be given because it's already been deposited into the ICICI Bank. So we can just press enter and come back to the contra voucher screen. And we have to give the narrations here. Please don't skip the narrations, right? So narrations we have to give for each and every entry what we pass in the software. Right? So here, please pass the narration as being cash deposited into the bank. Type the narration like this. And once you type the narration, press enter. You get accept yes or no. Press enter to accept and pass your first entry in Tally. Yes. So all of us have passed the first contra entry in Tally. Now, let's go for the second one. We have the second as a withdrawal entry, right? So withdrawal of cash of 3,000 from HDFC Bank. Company is withdrawing 3,000 from HDFC Bank. Now, before we pass the voucher, here we have two things to focus on. First, it is a withdrawal. Second is HDFC Bank. Now, if I'm going for a withdrawal entry from the bank, can I create, or would it be beneficial to create a spot ledger in the name of HDFC Bank in Tally? If I do so, what can be the consequence? If I am going for a withdrawal entry, what can happen? It can give me a negative balance. Why? Because spot ledgers don't have opening balances, right? First. Second is, all of us, when we are withdrawing, before withdrawing, the first job, what do? We are going to check our bank balance, yes? And then we will go for the withdrawal entry. This all of us will follow, yes? The same concept also we can follow even in Tally also. Before passing any withdrawal entry, we can also check the cash and the bank balances. So how can we do that? Now, so all of you are in the contra voucher creation screen, right? So you can hold on there. From there, you can press Alt G, go to option. Over there, if you can observe under common reports, you have cash or bank book. Please select cash or bank book and press enter. Yes. So here you can view the cash balance, the current cash balance of the company and the bank account balances. Right? So cash, what is the current balance it is seen? Bank balances. Now here in my company, I'm having 5,000 in ICICI Bank, and in the State Bank of India, I'm having 4,50,000. So in your companies, whatever you have created, you can view the cash and the bank balances. Yes. Now here, if I come back to the entry of withdrawal of 3,000 from HDFC Bank, now I don't find any HDFC Bank in my cash or bank summary, which means what? I need to create HDFC Bank. Now if I go to create, I cannot go for a spot ledger creation because I would get a negative bank balance, because under bank accounts, HDFC Bank doesn't exist. So when we are going for a withdrawal entry, first we have to create the necessary bank ledger. So how can we do that? All of us are in the cash or bank summary. From there only, we can press Alt G, go to option. Please press Alt G, go to option. Now at the top, you can observe create master is there. Yes, under create voucher, you have create master. Please select create master, press enter, select ledger. Yes. Now at the bottom, if you observe, you have the opening balance, right? In the ledger creation window. Now here, we can create a ledger in the name of HDFC Bank. Under bank account only, press enter and come to the opening balance directly. So on the opening balance, you can give the amount. Now here I'm giving as 50,000. Please give the opening balance and pass the ledger. Accept yes. Yes, we have created the ledger in the name of HDFC Bank. Now press escape key. Another escape key. Once again, yes, we are back to the contra vouchers. Now here, if you observe, in the list of ledger accounts, HDFC Bank is also appearing, right? Now easily we can pass a withdrawal entry. If you want to check again the cash or bank balance, now after creating HDFC Bank, you would like to, so first you have to press again Alt G, the go to option, go to the cash or bank book. Yes, so here you can view HDFC Bank balance, right? So it is already appearing. This is how we find out what's the current cash or bank balances. So as of now, we just press the escape option and come back to the contra voucher screen. Now, since we are going for the cash is coming into the company, right? So the debit aspect should be cash, debit what comes in, and the credit aspect should be the bank. Yes. So for a withdrawal entry, how do we pass the entry? If I go for a withdrawal, so when I'm withdrawing 3,000 from HDFC Bank, the credit aspect appears first as usual, the debit aspect appears next. Now if I go to the credit aspect, credit the giver, right? HDFC Bank is giving out the funds to my company. So credit is HDFC Bank account, and an amount of 3,000 is coming into the company. So it is debit is cash. Okay. This is how we pass the entry if we go for the withdrawal. I hope it's clear for all of you. So let's pass the same entry even in Tally as well. So credit HDFC Bank. Please select HDFC Bank in the list of ledgers. Type the amount as 3,000. Press enter. Yes, so here we can make a small assumption. We are withdrawing 3,000 now by using a check. Okay. Later on, we can go for the ATM card withdrawal as and when we pass the entries. But as of now, we'll make an assumption that we are withdrawing 3,000 by check. Okay. So we will leave the check transaction type as it is by pressing enter. Press enter again. You will come to the instrument number. INST is nothing but instrument number, check number. Now check has how many digits? It is having 6 digits, right? So you can give any 6 digits of your choice as the check number for your practice. Press enter and please don't change the instrument date, the check date. As I told, if you're using a licensed version, you can give the date of the check, what has been given. But as of now, in the trial version, please stick on to the 1st or 2nd of April, whatever is being shown in the screen. Press enter. Right. Now, press again enter. You get the list of ledgers, right? Now here, you have to choose cash. Yes. So 3,000 is being added to my current cash balance. Now, once again, when you press enter, you will go to the narration. So being cash withdrawn from the being cash withdrawn from bank. You can pass the narration and then pass the entry. So once you finish, accept, yes. So we have passed a withdrawal entry in the contra voucher. Right. Right. Now the third we have is transfer of cash of 1,500 from ICICI Bank to HDFC Bank. So there is transfer of funds of 1,500 from ICICI Bank to HDFC. This is an interbank transfer. Now let's assume we are using the NEFT, National Electronic Fund Transfer mode of transferring the funds from ICICI Bank to HDFC Bank. How can we depict the same in the contra voucher? Right? So let's see how can we do that. We're going to transfer funds of 1,500 from ICICI Bank to HDFC Bank. So if I'm transferring from ICICI Bank to HDFC Bank, my credit aspect is the giver, right? From ICICI Bank, it is going to HDFC Bank. So ICICI Bank has to be credited and debit the receiver, right? From ICICI, it is going to HDFC. So HDFC Bank becomes the receiver. So debit the receiver, HDFC Bank. The same entry we have to pass in the tally also. Credit ICICI Bank, debit HDFC. So credit you select as ICICI Bank and amount as 1,500. Press enter. Now here, since we are making an e-fund transfer, electronic fund transfer, we are not using a mode of check. So what we have to do is, please listen carefully, press a space bar. When you press the space bar, you have an option of e-fund transfer. All of you are able to view this? So press enter on the screen. Yes. You get e-fund transfer, and beneath that, you get account number, bank name, instrument number, IFSC code. Now, which bank details you have to give up here? This is extremely important. We have to give the transferor, the remitter's bank details. Okay. Now here, ICICI Bank is a transferor, right? It is a remitter. HDFC Bank is the beneficiary, the transferee. So here, account number, bank name, instrument number, IFSC code, we have to give the ICICI Bank, which is the transferor bank, the remitter bank, right? So you can give any account number, but please do give it. I've given here as 001. You have to give the IFSC code. IFSC code you can give, or you can just skip it up. Okay. Now bank name, you can give it as ICICI Bank. Now if you press a space bar, please press a space bar. It will come as not applicable or a specified bank name. So as I told, list of banks will not be applicable or shown in the trial version. So what you can do is you can select specify bank name, and here you can type the name of the bank as ICICI Bank. Once you type, press enter. You have to give the check number of the ICICI Bank, how you're transferring funds. So again, a 6-digit check number. Let the instrument date remain the same. Enter. Press again enter, then you have to select HDFC Bank. Yes, so this is how. Right, so once you type on the amount, now here you're able to view the transaction type. In the transaction type, e-fund transfer is automatically reflected. Yes, and here you can view the check number of ICICI Bank over here automatically, right? Now here press enter and come to the bank name. Again, the same procedure. You have to press the space bar, select specify bank name, and over here you have to give it as HDFC Bank because the funds are being transferred to HDFC Bank. Type HDFC Bank over here. Yes. So being funds transferred through NEFT to HDFC. Okay. Like this, you have to pass the narration. Being funds transferred through NEFT to HDFC Bank. You can give the check details if you require, by check number. Otherwise, you can just limit your narration. So once you type the narration, that's the entry. Yes. So like this, we have passed today 3 entries. One, we have a deposit entry, a withdrawal entry, and transfer of funds from one bank to another bank. So hope it is clear, all the 3 entries. If you have any questions, anything you would like to ask, you can please ask any doubts. You're not able to get any entry here. I hope it is clear until here to all of you. If you have not passed the entry, please do pass the entry now. So I hope all of you have passed the entries, the first 3 entries under contra vouchers. The remaining we will take up in the next session. Hope the session was useful to all of you as of today. So we'll meet up in the next session. Have a nice day.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.